Visceral fat. This is a dangerous type of fat that wraps around your organs.
So how do you get rid of visceral fat?
Particular interesting foods that could burn stubborn visceral fat off your body.
Visceral fat, what doctor said?
There's some people that when they gain weight, they don't gain in their arms or their legs or their butt or their thighs. They gain it on the inside of their abdomen as visceral fat. Other people, when they gain weight, maybe they'll gain subcutaneous fat. Maybe they gain weight in the butt or in the hips or the thighs or underneath the chin. That's a different type of fat. So how do you get rid of visceral fat? It is very difficult. You cannot liposuction visceral fat. You cannot cut it out. This is fat that you can only get rid of naturally.
Visceral fat removal, dietary changes.
If you want this fat to be removed from your body, your eating habits need to change. It's not all about calories. Now, here are the foods that we implemented into our client's diet. Polyphenol-rich greens. Think spinach, kale, or if you're feeling a little fancy, duckweed. And to improve his gut health, he drank bone broth, added fermented foods, and chia seeds to his diet. Fermented foods boost beneficial gut bacteria, while chia seeds act as a prebiotic to nourish them. Together with his increased polyphenol intake, this combination supports a healthy gut and is a massive net positive at helping you burn visceral fat.
Visceral fat removal, green tea and duckweed.
Visceral fat is the worst type of fat. It's the fat that sits around your internal organs. And beyond just contributing to a beer gut, it's particularly pro-inflammatory and strongly linked to poor metabolic health and poor cardiovascular health. If there's a type of body fat that you want to minimize, it's visceral fat. And while there's not really a way to spot reduce different deposits of subcutaneous fat, the fat under your skin, like you can't just zap your love handles or your muffin top, you can eviscerate visceral fat, because visceral fat is different tissue than subcutaneous fat, just like muscle is different than adipose tissue or fat. Basically, it stands to reason that you can alter the metabolic conditions of your body such that visceral fat becomes more malleable, sensitive to fat loss, and cooperative at being burned off your body. In the randomized controlled trial I want to review with you, it suggests particular interesting foods that could burn stubborn visceral fat off your body. 3 to 4 cups of green tea per day, plus supplementation with something called Wolffia globosa duckweed, also called mankai. This particular low-carb diet with the green tea and the duckweed was called the Green Med Diet. Now, on Wolffia globosa, this is a really interesting vegetable that I'd never heard of before. It's the smallest known flowering plant. It's relatively high in protein. It's actually a good source of B12, which is unusual for plants, and it's being studied for space agriculture as a protein source. Based on these data, I do think it's reasonable to conclude that upping your green tea intake, possibly daily and multiple times a day, and possibly including some Wolffia globosa duckweed, if you have interest and access, could be a decent idea if you struggle with excess visceral fat.